Welcome back. CP Devin fan here, 8 Immortals Wing Chun. You may be asking yourself, why is he only using one hand here when he's doing these motions? Because normally Wing Chun we use both hands to attack. That's a good question. Only doing so to demonstrate the versatility of the star of today's show, which is Tan Sau, the Dispersing Hand in Wing Chun. Reason we're starting with this from the Wing Chun techniques is because Tan Sau, hoping you can see from this angle here, Tan Sau describes this position here, okay? This is actually, in my opinion, it's the most versatile hand position in Wing Chun. It's where all the other ones can come from. So from this hand position here, I'll turn so you can see it a little bit better. This means that you can see from most of the positions here are going to work from this position. Tell whether you're in the correct spot or not is one fist basically. So one of your fists pressed against yourself should be where your elbow is away from your body. Then you know the structure is in the correct distance, okay? Tan Sau, so also you can call palm up block, but dispersing hand describes its function better. Tan Sau is used when can be an incoming force, okay? Or it can be also, I can use as a wedge, just like we're describing with our stance here. But basically here with Tan Sau, a force meaning someone throwing, let's say they're throwing a punch at me. This hand motion here comes in, disperses the force to the side, and creates contact so that I can attack at the same time. That'll become Tan Da, which means Da means the punch. So Tan Da means we put those two. We have a lot of the other ones that can go together too, okay? However, I'll tell you this right off the bat, and as far as real application goes, this is, for putting the two together, is probably the most important one, the most useful one, okay? So, and you know, that's my concept, give you the most useful tools first as you're practicing. So if someone's coming to punch you, their punch is coming at your face, you're using your Tan Sau here, you tan and you're hitting at the same time. So that becomes Tan Da, okay? You hit that position, the structure, you disperse the force and you come and strike. So, a couple of things to think about here. I'm gonna have a separate series for all the hand positions. So each one will be just an introduction. Most important things to think about here, when I'm in this position here, Tan Sau, it's actually the structure of my stance and my body that is supporting the Tan Sau, making it strong and powerful. So for now, when you're working on this, I want you to try to practice maintaining that kind of position. So when you come forward here, so let's do it from we'll do it from the Sunam Tao, so your stance starting position here. You can open your hand first. I'll show you my thumb position closer. Thumb is kind of locked in that, almost like the same fist position, okay? Is locked into this L position. So you don't want your thumb out here, so it's gonna get caught when this is coming forward. But also, just like the fist position, so if you're using, already watched the basic punch video, this can also be used to catch things coming back. That's why we use that thumb position here. So from here, open up my hand here, okay? You sink down into your stance. Then we're gonna practice come forward into Tan Sau, okay? And I stop, you see where I stop here? I stop at that fixed position where my elbow is one fist length away from my body. That's your ending position. Structurally, that's the position you want to hold on to, okay, here. So you're gonna notice something that a lot of Wing Chun people love to argue. Everyone has a different opinion about this one. I'll just show this how I do it. You'll notice there's a slight angle as my Tan Sau is here. It's not perfectly flat like this. You know, I heard some Wing Chun people say, oh, it's a bridge, so have you ever seen a bridge that goes up like that? I'll tell you the reason that it should have an angle. If you have a slight angle here, just test, don't listen to me, you test for yourself. If you make your perfectly flat like this, just have any one of your friends or whatever, even yourself, push down on this. You're gonna see that it's hard to resist when this is flat. If you make a slight angle change to here, suddenly this becomes much, I don't know the mathematical amount, but so much more powerful, okay? Much more difficult to move this here the more I flatten my hand. If you were trying to hold a weight, the more you make this flat, the harder it gets to hold the weight up. It's the same thing, okay? So not exaggerate like this, because then it doesn't have that forward energy anymore, but from here it should have a slight angle when it comes forward. You're gonna find it more successful. So, that's my cat. So here, if I have this incoming force, this is how I'll teach you to do it. There's other applications, but for learning it. The punch is coming in. When I want to redirect this force for now, you hit this position, that same position you just trained in, the fixed elbow position. You hit this position here, boom, and you throw your punch from here. First you can practice just the turn part, okay? The turn part, it's not the best position here, but the turn part here, you're pivoting, so pivoting on your full feet there, so my toes, this is just like the stance work we're doing. In Wing Chun, one thing important to remember, you're almost always, for now you can say always trying to face your hands in Wing Chun, okay? Face where your energy is going. So here, as this punch is coming in, I don't want to just flow my hand out here, because if you try that for yourself, if I don't move anything else and I just let this drift off into this position, this can become very vulnerable, okay? I've had my shoulder popped out before, then fighting it, that's no fun, okay? So you want to make sure the structure is here to support this. When the structure is behind any of your motions in Wing Chun, then it becomes very strong, very powerful. So when I'm here, the punch comes in, and I create this position here, my whole stance is going to move, my hips, my shoulders, everything is working in harmony here. All those things move to support this position. That way, when this big force comes here, I have the structure to support it. I can then go and strike with my other hand, okay? So here's something to pay attention to. We're learning this technique, the Tan Sau. As this one is going, those two things happen at the same time. This takes a little bit of mental practice. If you've done other martial arts, almost every other one, you're going to be used to 1, 2. It's always one energy, another energy, okay? Wing Chun is unique. That's why we use this square facing stance pretty much. Is it that way I can apply two techniques at the same time, okay? There's variants here. You're going to see Wang Shanlun. He does it super close together. That can be super successful too. It's very, very close, okay? You don't need to go way off to the side. You just need to take whatever's coming off its line so that you can come and strike through, okay? That's when you see him do so close together, that's why he's doing it. He just needs to take the punch off its line to come in and shoot through and punch, all right? So when it's called dispersing hand, that's basically the concept. So all we're trying to do here with this hand motion here is incoming force, you get the force, so it's sliding out of the way here, then come and punch. Now, I'm going to keep this one simple because again we have a lot of different hand techniques to go through. So as you're doing this one, what I want you to think about, the reason you're going to spend so much time perfecting kind of your position, so perfecting your position here, you notice my elbow comes inside, okay? Elbow comes inside here, and it's in the fixed elbow position in the center pretty much. The reason we're going to spend time perfecting this position, your Tan Sau, is because all the other motions, this unique position can be done pretty much from this position. Okay, so whether I'm trying to go from Tan Sau, incoming force, and now a low punch kick comes down, I can go to Gum Sau from here. So a Tan Sau goes to Gum Sau, goes to Chum Sau, can circle around into Hyun Sau, and now it becomes Wu Sau. Most commonly Tan Sau, pressure here becomes Bong Sau, okay? Bong Sau in this direction. Tan Sau, here you're shooting forward, suddenly there's nothing in your way, becomes a palm strike. Tan Sau is coming forward, nothing in your way, becomes just a vertical fist punch, okay? So it's extremely versatile that way. So this one is going to be a foundation. When you finish practicing on one side, then you can practice the same thing coming through on the other side, okay? Lots of other motions in there. Don't worry, we're going to get to those because very soon we're going to start the Sunam Tao, the first form. Now that you have your structure and we're learning this, the most important first move, you'll be able to build on those things. So Tan Sau, dispersing hand. Again, your hand position, focus on keeping this position, focus on keeping that slight angle. I'll give you a tip, we'll give you a head start on the Sunam Tao. For the first part here, when you're bringing focus on have your hand coming forward like this. See how my elbow's coming into the center, okay? Keep my shoulders sunk down. My hands coming forward here. From there, I want you to try to use energy. And you're gonna start to feel those secret muscles that are back here that's pushing this forward. That's pushing this forward. Do it with tension. Try to do for now. You do two things, okay? Your homework. This one's gonna push forward slowly and then reach that fixed elbow position. On the next one from here, open your hand, and then you shoot forward with energy. Very similar energy to what you're using when you're doing your straight punch, okay? Those two things have same energy, all right? When you're applying them to incoming force. So that's an intro to Tan Sau. You're gonna see how it fits into the system when we start to put together. So when I add the other hand positions, whether you're in Pak Sau or from Tan Sau, you do Lap Sau as well, very important. All those different things work together. For now, that's the start. We're gonna do one at a time. Each one you're gonna build it together, then it becomes something. Until next time, stay strong, keep training, and we'll see you back at 8 Immortals Wing Chun.